Music streaming giant Spotify has announced it will start guiding listeners of podcasts discussing COVID-19 to more information about the pandemic. Well, it follows a campaign over podcaster Joe Rogan, one of the platform's main stars. Music legends like Neil Young and Joni Mitchell had pulled their music from the streaming site. Here's what Joe Rogan had to say in response.
If there's anything that I've done that I could do better is have more experts with differing opinions right after I have the controversial ones. My pledge to you is that I will do my best to try to balance out these more controversial viewpoints with other people's perspectives so we can maybe find a better point of view.
Well, I'm joined by Emmet Ryan, tech journalist at the Business Post, and broadcaster Dave Fanning. To come to you first, Emmet, on that, what do you make of that statement from Joe Rogan? Obviously, all eyes on him and what he was going to say after this debacle with Neil Young, where Neil Young essentially said to Spotify, you choose me or Joe, and they chose Joe Rogan.
Well, he had 100 million reasons to want them to choose him, because that's what Spotify have paid to have Joe Rogan exclusively on their platform. And this really feels a bit like a sop, like even like the warning Spotify have said they're putting ahead of it. It reminds you of what you sort of see in sort of, you know, drink or gambling ads, where there's that little bit of a thing, oh, by the way, here's the help site just in case. Spotify are doing the bare minimum just to avoid any further scrutiny after they lost two big but not really needle movers in terms of their subscription artists last week. And like what they're really worried about is a Taylor Swift going to follow, is an Ariana Grande or a Bad Bunny? And that's why they're trying to show that we're going to do enough to keep them on side.
Yeah, Dave, on that, is it sad to say that, you know, Joni Mitchell and Neil Young don't hold the same sway as the likes of Ariana Grande or Taylor Swift
God,
when
no.
it comes
I mean,
to
come on, their heyday is so long ago. They know that more than anybody else. I mean, like 100 million he's getting. Like, they're going to buy his past podcasts as well, or they are paying for those as well. But I mean, if he gets £1 million a podcast on advertising, then in the space of 2 years they're going to get their 100 million back, and after that it's profit all the way. So he's 10 times bigger than anybody else you might mention. But that apology there is absolutely appalling. It puts Prince Andrew in the shade. I mean, the thing is, like, he's saying, like, it's like somebody who beats up their partner and says, I'm sorry if I hurt you. Like, that's more or less what he's saying. He doesn't give two hoots. And at one stage, you know what he said, which I thought was really... Is he trolling Joni Mitchell? He says, I love Joni Mitchell, he says in the thing. You know, I love that song, Chucky's in Love. That wasn't Joni Mitchell. That was Ricky Lee Jones, and he damn well knows that. Or if he doesn't know that, then he doesn't know Joni Mitchell. So one way or the other, he's just chancing his arm. He doesn't give two hoots. He really doesn't. Yeah,
so what does it mean for the likes of Neil Young, that sort of when they make that stand?
Neil Young, you've got to understand, I mean, Americans might say he's got skin in the game. He seriously does have history here. Joni Mitchell got polio at the age of 9. He got polio at the age of 5, and it was before there were any vaccines. They have believed and understand vaccines for the last 50 years. They know exactly how they work, they know exactly how efficacious they are, and they've been brilliant for everything they needed. Joe, I mean, not Joe, what's his name? Neil Young also, by the way, has 3 kids. His daughter has epilepsy, and his other 2 have cerebral palsy, the 2 of them. And all his life, he's really been, you know, going against everything that has to be done in terms of trying to make his life work out well. And the vaccines have worked, and all the stuff has worked as well. He's done loads of gigs, loads of concerts. He's got involved in so many different things, from the Monsanto thing to everything else. And he's really been up there and given his time and everything. He knows what he's talking about. He knows what it is. And when he sees Joe Rogan talking to people, knowing damn well what Joe Rogan is up to, knowing damn well that Joe Rogan doesn't give a damn about putting somebody else in the next day who'll say, well, actually, vaccines are great. He just goes, that's it, I've had enough.
And also, like, Neil Young knew that, like, they were going to choose Joe Rogan over him. He was doing that.
Absolutely.
He was very well aware.
That was my next question. Was he aware when he made that stand that it would make headlines, but essentially he was going to be off the streaming site?
Exactly. He knew it was going to draw attention. And it really has.
Have they really gone down $6 billion in valuation in the last 4 days?
So that's kind of interesting, Dave. So they did, but they've clawed it back for the most part. But now, which is why we're seeing all this today, they're worried it could happen again. Like, market analysts are naturally going to go, well, was Spotify overvalued? Because if something like Neil Young leaving the platform can lead to sort of that quick crash in the value, and like we were saying, we all know Neil Young isn't going to move the needle for them. Analysts are going to ask, well, have we overvalued what Spotify really is as a whole? And Spotify's obviously worried about, like, a larger artist suddenly taking a similar stand. Because if say Taylor Swift left tomorrow, people would ask, well, where are you going to listen to Taylor Swift?
They had a big fight. Spotify had a big fight with Taylor Swift 6 years ago.
They did.
A very major fight. They had a big fight 5 years ago with the Black Lives, with the black music not being played and all the rest. But they got over those pretty easily, you know? Yeah, exactly,
like, on this, I suppose it questions the future of music, and it really puts the focus on the fact, in order to listen to some of our favourite artists, you know, we don't actually own that music. They don't, and they're being paid very little for it.
The record companies get paid. They don't really get paid at all. It's not like
that's the bottom line.
It's not
there's
like
something in
legal
it for the record
downloading or buying a
companies,
CD
but not for the
that it
artists.
used to be. Yeah, exactly. And
What's
that is
in
the
it for
problem.
us,
So, in
though?
other words, if Neil Young has opened a Pandora's box, is it great? Now we can all.
But what's in it for us, like what Claire was saying, it's convenience. But that Spotify has basically brought this war to themselves, because Spotify figured, right, well, we've got them all listening for music now. What's our next way to grow listeners? We'll become the podcast homes. A lot of these podcasts, you could have gotten them anywhere before. Like Joe Rogan was on YouTube, never mind all the platforms. You know, lots of other podcasts were similar. They're on every platform for free. Spotify's attitude was, we'll give these people sweetheart deals. They'll come here and their listeners will then get Spotify subs, which sounds great on paper until you realise Spotify was playing the poor mouth for years with all the musicians, saying we can only pay you this fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a cent. And suddenly we can afford to give sweetheart deals to all these podcasters. Musicians are naturally going to get a bit up in arms, and if they see a chance to just have a dig at Spotify, they're going to take it.
Yeah, and if you want Neil Young's music, you can go to Apple, and Apple are already saying, hey, we're Apple, we're the home of Neil Young, and there's loads more might just do the exact same thing, and loads of people now realise there's more out there than Spotify, all in the last 5 days because of Neil Young.